Hello students, welcome to our class. Hope you are all pretty well. There is a famous quote, a little progress each day adds up to big results. Progress means development that can be achieved through active learning with willingness. Willingness means readiness. Learn with enthusiasm that helps you to develop well. In our earlier class, we have learnt about portion of the topic adverbs. I think you have watched, enjoyed and got an idea about adverbs. It's time to recap before we start our today's session. Parts of speech. There are 8 in number. In that, already we have discussed about nouns in earlier videos and we have started adverbs in the previous video. Let's recap what did we learn in our earlier video. Adverb, a word that describes a verb, an adjective or another word or another adverb. Adverb means it tells how the action has been done or about adjective. Adjective means what? It describes about noun or about another adverb. How, when, where, to what extent. These questions help us to recognize the adverb or these questions help us to recognize the adverb in a better way. How. How relates or refers to how an action happens. When. When or how often something happens. Where something happens. To what extent. It tells about adverbs of degree, intensity. Different types of adverbs. There are adverbs of manner, how does it happen? Adverbs of place, where does it happen? Adverbs of time, when does it happen? Adverbs of frequency, how often does it happen? We have also learned about position of adverbs. One more type of adverb, adverbs of degree. In what way does it happen? We have also learnt about position of adverbs. They have given in a very detailed manner in your grammar and more related to position of adverbs. One thing what should you remember is whether it comes at the starting of a sentence or mid of a sentence or at the end of a sentence. Some of the types may come in any position. Some exclusively at the starting or at the mid of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. Those only through practice and revision you can remember to avoid mistakes related to position of adverbs. It's time to check your answers. Let us check your answers. Cross the odd ones out. I think everyone have answered the questions and you might have got an idea what did we discuss. I have also told you at the time of answering these questions, go through position of adverbs. There they have mentioned very clearly. Adverbs of manner. Cross the odd ones out. First one, the words what am I reading, those has to be crossed out. First one, adverbs of manner, unusually, extremely. Second one, neatly, most, on, normally. Third one, always, never, busily. Fourth one, late, now, everywhere. Fifth one, today, cheerfully, yearly. Exercise B. Fill in the blanks with adverbs from the above exercise. Above exercise means exercise A. First one, swiftly. Second one, really. You have to go through the spellings very carefully to avoid the mistakes, children. This has to be observed by you carefully. Third one, everywhere or around or here. For some of the questions, multiple answers are there. If you write, ignore. Or else if you write only one answer, better you write the other options also. Then you will get an idea. Fourth one, around. Fifth one, never. Sixth one, immediately. Seventh one, always. Eighth one, often or never or ever. Ninth one, yesterday. Read this extract and underline the adverbs. I have already told you the meaning of the word extract means paragraph. Here they have told you to underline the adverbs in the given paragraph. Now I am announcing the answers means adverbs line to line, one after the another. So no need to tell first line, second line. Just you, whenever I read the words, then you go through line to line, then there will be no confusion. Ago, quite, hard, here, enough, sooner. These are the adverbs in the first paragraph. Now in second paragraph, sometimes, very, small. Exercise D. Fill in the blanks with the adverbs. Change the form and use the words in the box. First one, extremely. Second one, often. Third one, diligently. Fourth one, cheerfully, generously. Fill in the blanks with the correct adverbs from the boxes. First one, to. Second one, very. Third, never. Fourth one, very. Fifth one, much. Sixth one, late. Seventh one, lately. Eighth one, surely. Ninth one, quickly. 10th one, well. 11th one, already. 12th one, enough. 13th one, hardly. Read these dialogues. Put a slash in each sentence where the adverb can be inserted. So here already they have given the correct option. No need to write them. So you have to keep the slash wherever it is necessary to place that word. Rohan. For that dialogue already they have given the answer. Ritu. In that, my family and I often go there in summers. It is extremely pleasant there at the time of the year. Rohan. Where do you usually stay? Ritu. We always stay at a lodge that faces the church. The view from the rooms is very beautiful. Geeta. What do you usually do on Sundays? Vivek. Earlier, mother used to wake me up before 8 o'clock. Lately, she has begun waking me up at 9. Geeta. Do you often go to the park on Sundays? Vivek. I seldom go to the park. I always play chess with my father. My father feels that I play chess brilliantly. So next one, I am quite happy to be at home with my family on Sundays. So see here children, once go through this and check your answers carefully. My brother and I usually watch an educational TV program called Brain Teasers. My brother and I usually watch an exciting educational TV program called Brain Teasers. One adverb for several words. First one, it seems to be raining endlessly. Second one, voluntarily. Third one, briskly. Fourth one, immediately. The words which are in the grey color, in that you have to place this word. In place of those grey letter words, you have to place this word. Fourth one, immediately. Fifth one, simultaneously. Sixth one, manually. Seventh one, repeatedly. Eighth one, eventually. Ninth one, gradually. 10th, courteously. 11th, swiftly. 12th, fiercely. 13th, untidily. 14th, beautifully. 15th, see children, here the lion looked at the house in a fierce manner, fiercely. 12 questions they have given. These 12 are the answers. So they have given more options than you need. Those also has to be checked by you carefully. Let us start our session. What is this? Madam has told us adverbs. We are going to learn part 2 adverbs today. Then why phrase has come here? What is the necessity of learning about phrase? Is it essential to learn now? Yes, it is very essential. If we observe, when we have started learning about sentences, we have learnt about kinds of sentences and phrases. Okay? Kinds of sentences and phrases. And today, in your grammar and more, if you observe, they have given the definition related to adverb, kinds of adverbs, position of adverbs, that we have learnt in your video 9. In this video 10, what are we going to learn? Rest of the topics in the chapter adverbs. In that they have given adverb clauses and a little information or very brief introduction about kinds of adverb clauses. That also they have given very basic level. To have an idea about or to learn about adverb clauses, first of all or firstly you should have an idea and know the difference between phrase and the clause. Let us learn about this. Then we start learning about adverb clauses and kinds of adverb clauses. What did they give in your grammar and more. Then you can understand very easily step by step. What's meant by phrase? A phrase is a piece of information in a sentence made up of more than one word. It's not a complete sentence. It does not share a complete thought. It does not have a subject and a verb. Firstly, what is meant by subject? Subject means a noun. Then, noun may come at the starting of the sentence and at the end of the sentence. What is the difference between subject and object? Object also noun only, no? Subject means doer of the action. Verb means action or the work what is going on there. These two will not be there in the phrase. And a phrase means always group of words, means more than one word. It will not give complete sense or meaning. And it will also not give complete thought. Thought means nothing but idea. Thought means nothing but idea. So this has to be remembered by you very carefully, children. Difference between phrase and clause. Unless and until you know the definition about the phrase, then you can't understand about a clause. Because you should show the difference between phrase and clause, no? That's why you have to learn or recall, revise about a phrase once. On the table, near the school, at the house. Question mark. Because it is a phrase, group of words. It gives an idea which is incomplete. Now, let us learn about clauses. What is meant by clause? A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and its own predicate. A clause can be a complete sentence or a part of a sentence. A sentence can have one clause or more than one clause. Once go through the definitions very silently for a while. Go through very silently, children. Subject. The part of a sentence that names a person or thing is called the subject, doer of the action. Okay. Clause is a group of words that contains a subject. Doer of the action will be there and its own predicate. Did you remember what are subject and predicate? They are parts of a sentence. Okay, we know very well about subject. Then what's meant by predicate? This also we have learnt already. The predicate contains a verb. And this part tells us something about the subject. What work has been done by the subject or going on by the subject. What is he doing? What the subject is doing. It tells that. What else? Predicate. The part that tells us something about the subject is called the predicate. Predicate contains a verb. It can be a word or a group of words. A clause can be a complete sentence or part of a sentence. Sentence, okay. A group of words that makes complete sense is known as sentence. Then what is this complete sentence or part of a sentence? You will understand very clearly when we go through the examples. Just wait for a while. A sentence can have one clause or more than one clause. Just now we have learned. What did we learn? Clause means nothing but a group of words. It contains subject and its own predicate. It may or may not give complete meaning. You will understand very clearly when we go through examples. Phrase will not contain subject and verb, but a clause will contain subject and verb. If you are able to remember these two differences, then you can answer very well, as you understand very easily. Clauses are of two kinds. What are they? Independent clause, dependent clause. In the name itself we can understand independent, free. We will not depend on anyone. They stand on their own. Dependent. They need the support from others. Without support, they can't perform or they won't give complete meaning. Dependent means generally they depend on others. They can't survive or they can't do the work without the help of others. Here, dependent means it won't give complete meaning. Understood? In that sense, you have to understand. Independent clause means makes complete sense on its own. It gives complete meaning. Dependent clause means it depends on another clause to make complete sense. What is that another clause? Nothing but independent clause. The sun rises in the east. Just now we have discussed about parts of a sentence also. Yesterday, when Sarita invited Lata, in that Sarita invited Lata. Sarita is subject, invited Lata is a predicate. It comes under complete sentence. Then you may get doubt. Madam, we are discussing about clauses. Why are you telling about parts of a sentence? Even though we are discussing about clauses, what did they tell? Clause contains subject and a verb. Phrase will not contain subject and verb. So first you should have an idea about subject and predicate. No? That's why I have mentioned this slide also. Then you will get an idea. Subject and predicate. The sun rises in the east. This is a clause, a complete sentence. Okay, the sun, subject, rises in the east, predicate, rises, verb. Here they have mentioned very clearly. Predicate contains a verb. It can be a word or group of words. Here, predicate is a group of words. It is a complete sentence. Now see this. In the backyard, the dog ran behind the cat. In that, subject is the dog. Predicate, ran behind the cat. Already when we have gone through the definition, I have told you, clause may be complete sentence or part of a sentence. Here, clause, complete sentence. The complete sentence, sun, subject, rises in the east, predicate. Then why are we telling here it is a part of a sentence? The dog ran behind the cat means complete sentence. But here, other group of words also there. What is that? In the backyard. In the backyard, the dog ran behind the cat. So, that's why here there is a phrase. That's why it comes under part of a sentence. Here, like that, extra words are not there. Extra group of words. But here, extra group of words are there. That's why they are telling it is a part of the sentence. You should know the variation, children. Subject clause means it contains subject and a verb. Clause may be complete sentence or part of a sentence. So, complete sentence means like this it will be there. Other words will not be remained. Here, extra words are there, means a phrase is there or some dependent clause will be there. Go through carefully, then you can understand very easily. Now see, we have gone through one more important point at the time of going through definition. What did we learn? A sentence may contain one or more clauses or two clauses. Go through this example. Whenever Akbar gave Birbal a tricky problem, Birbal solved it very easily or Birbal solved it easily. In that first clause, Akbar gave Birbal a tricky problem, first clause. Birbal solved it very easily, second clause. Understood, children? Clause means subject and verb, mandatory. Here, Akbar gave, subject, verb, subject, predicate, first clause. Birbal solved it easily, subject and predicate, second clause. So, there may be two clauses also, not maybe, will be, because in some sentences only one clause will be there, some other sentences two clauses will be there. Here they have given in the form of a structure also to understand very easily. A group of words consisting of a subject and a verb. Subject plus verb. The student studied in the library. Independent clause or complete clause. Complete sentence, not complete clause. Complete sentence. Clause. A group of words consisting of a subject and a verb. Observe this example. Studies biology. Where is the subject, door of the action? So it won't come under clause. Wrong example. Jane studies biology. Correct example. Here door of the action is there. Subject is there. Jane. Independent clause. The reason makes sense on its own and it gives a complete thought. The research demonstrates that the new vaccine effectively eliminates viral load in patients. Dependent clause. I have already told you. It needs some other words or group of words to give complete meaning. Not a complete thought means idea. Needs more information. While I was studying in the library, what happened? Question mark. They did not mention there. What happened? It is dependent. Some other words has to be added to give complete meaning. The teacher explained the difference between an electron and a proton. If the teacher does not provide the notes on time, what happens? Question mark. This is the example of dependent clause. Words that mark dependent clauses: while, if, unless, although, because, since, when. Just remember these words, children. Almost dependent clauses start with these only and they won't give complete idea. Now let us go through a grammar and more. Here they have given about adverb clauses. And they have also given adverb clauses. One more exercise also there, children. First we will go through that. Then we will persist with adverb clauses. And there are many other clauses also. But in this chapter they have given about adverb clauses only. So we are going to learn about that only. Exercise H. Complete the crossword with the 6 adverbs of frequency. Take help from the clues. Across, down. Go through the clues and then answer the question. Answer the puzzle. Many times. Across, first one. Answer is often. Make sentences of your own using the adverbs you filled in the crossword and the verbs given in the box. So very interesting exercise they have given. What did they give here? First complete the crossword, exercise H. And next they have given own sentences in a simple language to tell, to make you to understand very easily. You have to frame own sentences by using the words given in the box. And what should you do? You have to use the adverbs. What did you fill in the puzzle? Or in the above exercise, what words have been written by you in the puzzle, those also has to be used along with the options given in the box to frame sentences. It takes time, children, but think and write well. Very good examples you can write. Now let us go through adverb clauses. Read this sentence. While the students sketched the scenery, the teachers prepared their meal. Now read the two parts of the sentence separately. While the students sketched the scenery, what happened? Is it giving you complete sense? Then what kind of clause is it? I think you might have guessed correctly. Dependent clause. The teachers prepared their meal. Independent clause. These basic knowledge should be there for you, children. You have to recognize immediately by going through the sentence what is a phrase, what is a clause, whether it is independent clause or dependent clause. Then only you can recognize under which kind of clause it comes. Here they have given the one that you ticked is an independent clause. The other part of the sentence is a dependent clause. An independent clause is one that expresses a complete thought and can be written without the dependent clause. A dependent clause, on the other hand, needs the independent clause to make sense and finish the thought it is expressing. Underline the dependent clauses. You no need to bother under which kind of clause it comes, because we are doing adverb clauses exercises. So all the examples related to that kind of clause only will be given. First you remember the definition of clause, independent clause, dependent clause. Try to recognize them. Then you can answer the exercises very well. In your forthcoming classes, you will learn about kinds of clauses. Then I will give you some more tips, or in a better way, how can you recognize the kinds of clauses. Now underline the dependent clauses. There I have given you in the form of a table with some of the clue words or tips. How the dependent clauses will be started. See the first one. The friends walked towards the parking lot where a bus was parked. What is the dependent clause in that? Where a bus was parked. Kinds of adverb clauses. Here they have given. Already we have learned about kinds of adverbs, no children? Adverbs of time, place, degree, manner. So here also in the same manner they have given adverb clauses of time, and they have given some of the conjunctions also. Conjunctions used to connect an adverb clause of time with an independent clause include after, before, since, whenever, as long as. So go through the kinds of adverb clauses and go through the clue words or tips what did they give, which will be useful to answer with. Adverb clauses of place, adverb clauses of reason or purpose. In addition to these adverb clauses, there are adverb clauses of comparison of degree or adverb clauses of comparison of manner. Very easy topic, children. Just pay attention, listen carefully, then you can answer it. Basic levels only they have introduced or they have given to you in your grammar and more. To make you to get an idea, this kind of models also will be there. Complete these sentences with adverb clauses as indicated in the boxes. See, dash you can. Please help your sister with her project work. Means what? You should write here related to adverb clauses of time. So what word can be filled in the blank? Just to go through the words, what did they give beside the heading adverb clauses of time. Like that, if you go through, then you can answer this exercise very easily. Match the clauses to form a sentence. Identify and write the kind of adverb clause in each sentence. Go through adverb clauses definitions clearly and carefully. Then you can answer very well. First do the matching and then write their kind of adverb clause also. More practice. Here they have given. Nandini is sitting in one corner of the park and describing what he sees. Can you rewrite the passage using adverbs? Look at the picture to add sentences and think up a few details. So you have to use the adverbs there to rewrite the paragraph once again. Go through the paragraph carefully, picture, and use your skills of imagination to answer it. Okay children, by this video we have completed first unit successfully. All the topics what did they give in your textbook and grammar and more. Go through your index page also. In our previous videos I have mentioned one of the slide related to your index page first unit also. We have completed first unit by this video completely. If you did not start doing grammar and more exercises, please start doing. If you neglect, you can't understand the other videos. All the topics are interlinked. Precautions to be followed to avoid corona. Stay home, stay safe.